Hi everyone, I have Tarun George with me, who recently scored a 760 score on the GMAT with Quant 50 and Verbal 42. And it's been a very impressive performance, joining the 99th percentile club with a tally and so many scores of this kind that we keep getting. And so let me invite Tarun. Yeah, Tarun. So just let me know how this helped you and what your prep strategy was like. First of all, welcome. And 760 is an awesome performance. So let me really congratulate you.
Thank
And
you.
just tell me about your background. Are you still studying? Are you working? And then how this course helped you specifically ace a 760 score. Let me know, please.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much for the introduction.
Yeah.
I'm a third year economics student at St. Stephen's College. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm still doing my graduation. I'm in my final semester.
Right.
So, the reason I took the GMAT was because I was considering applying to deferred programs, and
Mhm.
that's probably outside India, so they need the GMAT score rather than the CAT. So, I had never taken a competitive exam before. Like, I've not given any of the JEE, CAT, or anything like that. So, it was kind of a new experience for me, and I kind of understood that I had to take the coaching to probably
Mm.
do well on the paper.
I see a lot of your LinkedIn connections also have been a student. So did you know them or did you join them? Did you connect to them later once you joined us? Like, or
No,
did you
so
know?
actually I had taken the coaching in September.
Right.
Uh, I didn't start my prep until January.
Mm-hmm.
So between September to January, I had spoken with Richa ma'am. So I used to follow her WhatsApp statuses where she's posting about score updates of different people. So I connected with them, seeing that
Yeah,
they
I
have.
just saw that quite a few of my 760, 770 scorers are already in your LinkedIn connections when I tried to connect with you. So, Tarun, let's know exactly what part of the course helped you, what were you weak at, what was not clicking initially for you, and how this really helped you. And then I'll talk about what your exam experience was like. Let me know, please.
So actually, the thing is that I knew that I was like I think probably most Indians now, but was probably decent at quant.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that that's something that's my strong point, and the reason I wanted to give the GMAT, especially in my final year, is because I was in touch with math. So
Mm-hmm.
I knew that that would be something which I was probably going to have a little easier shot at. So
Mm-hmm.
I had contacted Harshit, like he was.
Mm-hmm.
So I had gotten to BCG this year. So post
Oh,
getting there, I wanted to like do the GMAT. So I'd spoken with him, and he had suggested to join you. So,
right,
so I knew that verbal is going to be definitely a little more harder for me. I
right.
think I spent my almost 1.5 months of preparation was dedicated a lot to verbal. On
Mm.
quant, I'll start with that first. My major preparation was what you had, just the
Mm.
videos that you had given. I think that
Mm.
was sufficient for me to get the concepts refreshed in my head. And I went
Right,
straight into the 700 to 800 level practice.
right, right, right.
Yeah. So what I did was that I used to. I think I probably did a lot of quant questions as well. I did it section by section. Like I used to
Mm.
take a class and do the immediately after that the question.
700 to 800 practice, right, right. So it
Yeah, and
must have cemented things with pretty
yeah,
well for you.
yeah. So I did it in such a way that I just did the questions which are not of the same type. Suppose one or two questions were
Mm.
probably that I know that I all know how to solve this. I
Mm.
wouldn't do it, but I kind of
Mm.
skip through the entire 700 to
Yeah, you
800.
could at least scan then say that this looks a bit unusual. Let me solve this.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this one I can solve. Let me not really fully solve it. I think that is a good strategy. Yes, yes. So quant was sorted. You got 50. Tell us about verbal, which seemed to be a little weaker for you. So let's see how this one.
So actually, when I've given the GMAT mock, the first mock,
Mm-hmm.
like on the official website, my score was a 680, but that had a quant 50 then only
Mm-hmm.
and a verbal 32. So
Mm-hmm.
so I started preparing verbal. I think sentence correction was something that was very tricky for me and something that I was struggling a lot with.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the first 100 questions that
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yeah,
I had done like from your class sessions, I think
right.
my accuracy was around half in that 50%,
Mhm.
60%. And I even wrote a mail dejected to you. I'm not sure
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you
No, no,
that,
you.
but
I've
I had
seen a
written a
few.
very
I've seen a few. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
yeah, so I wrote that upset mail to you saying that nothing is happening. So that was so sentence correction was something that was definitely tricky for me. Critical reasoning was something that I think having the economics background was probably helping a little bit.
Yeah, and math also, because if you're a mathematical way of thinking and then economics background, then you can probably sail through most of the questions. Some are still tricky, but I think
Yeah,
most of them can be done. Yeah.
true.
And
So
how about
I think
RC for you? Yeah, yeah, sorry.
yeah. so I think that sentence correction was my major difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happened was that I was again in sentence correction. I followed the quant approach. I had gone straight to the 700 800 level book. So what happened was that after some point of this thing, uh, I had started getting used to eliminating options, and
Mm-hmm.
then I kind of was getting stuck at the last two options. Like I
Mm-hmm.
used to be able to eliminate three easily, and
Right.
then when it was the last A versus B or the
Mm-hmm.
last two options, that's where I was getting stuck. So
Right. Right.
that was my major problem. I realized later in sentence correction. Reading
Mm-hmm.
comprehension, like it was something that I was struggling with definitely, but I think that octave approach and that
Right.
thing coming in slowly. So I did this thing where I practiced two passages a day every
Mm-hmm.
morning. That was all I did for RC.
And you were able to nail the octave thing in your head subconsciously.
Yeah.
Fine. So
It
tell us
still
about,
time
yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Initially, the octave thing was something that I felt like I was not able to imbibe it in me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but then one, it just happened subconsciously. Ki, okay, now I'm doing it naturally, and
Yeah.
that's when I saw that accuracy go up.
So did you become confident of sentence correction and reading comprehension later on, like really confident before the exam?
I would say that reading comprehension I was confident, but sentence correction though I was not.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely I was not. I mean, I was much better than where I started off, but I was definitely not confident as I was
Right,
about.
I get that. And how was your exam experience? Did you find something unusual or something like that?
So I had given the GMAT online
Mm-hmm.
exam. So what I did was that I first gave the verbal section, and
Right.
one major stupid thing that I did was that between the verbal and quant section,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how the online exam button works,
Mm-hmm.
and I skipped the break. So
Oh,
I couldn't take my break between the verbal and quant section.
it would
I
have been
think
a bit difficult in that case to
yeah,
manage.
it was difficult. Like the quant section was hard actually because of
Mhm.
the fact that I was not able to just sit there for that much
Mhm.
time. And the verbal section, I think reading comprehension was way easier than what I had expected.
Mhm.
So it was very similar. The length of the passages, everything was very similar to the
Mhm.
700 800 level book that you had given.
Right, right, right.
I think the reading comprehension section was comfortable. Sentence correction, definitely, I found it a bit tricky. Like it was not too structural in
Mhm.
this thing that you couldn't eliminate it through the like maybe two options or three options were remaining without the
Yeah,
say.
I got the rules only will not help. The
Yeah,
meaning clarity, nuances, and other things probably.
yeah,
But still, I mean, you got a 760, so I think that is justified, and you wouldn't have got many answers wrong in SC also because
yeah.
you have 42, which is overall four mistakes in verbal. So even if you say one in RC, one in CR, two in SC, that sort of a distribution would have been there. Did you expect while writing that you would this time you would really be able to nail 760 with, and
No.
was your mock performance like that or no? Not really.
So my mock performance was around that score. My mock performance, I had bought the fifth and sixth mock.
Right, right.
I don't know. I think you had mentioned it somewhere that the fifth is the most accurate.
Mhm, mhm.
So I had bought the fifth and sixth mock. I didn't buy the third and fourth one. And my fifth mock was 750 was
So
the
you were
score.
there almost just about
It
like
was
one
yeah.
day it could be 760, one day it could be 750, like that, I think.
Yeah, but it was the day before the paper that I had
Right,
taken the
that's
exam.
really nice. So
But
Tarun,
definitely
let me
expect a
just, yeah, yeah. So yours were a short journey. Let me just ask you to summarize. If somebody is preparing in your shoes, what are the two or three things you think they should do and shouldn't do? Because this is something that I ask normally. So please tell.
So I'll start with shouldn't do. So I'll
Mhm.
tell you what I think I did wrong. So the first thing that I think I did wrong was that I for the past like say the last 2 3 weeks, all I did was just mock tests from
Right,
your portal. So what used to happen was that after you finish the mock test, you get the score there.
right,
So
right,
all I did was just look at the score. Okay, three mistakes. Okay, four mistakes, five mistakes, and just left it at that. So
right.
I was happy. I've done a good test. I was unhappy. I did a bad test. So I never did
Mhm.
any error. Like didn't
Analysis. Okay.
error analysis. So on the last 2 3 days, I understood that almost all my mistakes were coming in that logical construction kind of thing in
Yeah,
SC.
yeah, yeah,
So there was something I had looked up earlier that would have definitely
yeah. Mhm.
helped.
Right, right, right.
I think that is the major thing that I did
So you should
wrong.
look up logical construction if that is your weakness in SC. That is one you'd say. Anything that people shouldn't do or should do, let me know apart from
Yeah.
that.
And other than that, I think what people should do definitely would be to suppose we are coming in just attempting questions
Mhm.
straight away without getting the concepts clear. I think that is the major difference which I see maybe in your coaching as compared to
Mhm.
other of my peers preparing for the GMAT. I
Right.
think that the emphasis on getting the concept clear or getting the methodology of how to solve the
Mhm.
question clear first really helps before just attempting questions straight shot. Uh,
Right, right. Obviously, I never suggest this thing that you should straight away start practice. I've said this so many times. Build depth first, build concepts first, and you should be able to solve it without time limit first, and then go for this practice. And did you feel that apart from one or two sentence correction questions, was there anything unusual on the exam? Like, did you feel that anything that you say that, I mean, this is just too different a question. I don't know. I'll have to think on my feet right now. Or was it kind of familiar?
No, I think both the sections were pretty, what to
Mm.
say, expected for me. Like
All right.
it was
All right.
too much different from the practice that I had done. One funny thing that happened was that my last quant question
Mm-hmm.
was a question like x plus, what is the value of x plus y the whole square? X square plus y square is equal to 2, xy is equal to 4. So
Oh,
when I submitted the last question, I was like, I have flunked the quant section
I
because
know this could have been just experimental because you got
yeah,
50 still.
yeah, that was.
So, Tarun, where are you applying now? What is the plan? Are you looking for deferred programs? Like,
I'm considering applying to deferred programs, but I am not really sure whether I'll be able to do it because of the timelines are pretty close and I have a lot of commitments in college. But I'm looking for deferred applications. Yes.
okay, okay, great. And I hope you contacted my colleague Autry. Just ask him for advice. If even if
I
you
will.
don't take his services, he'll really, really tell exactly what is needed. And do watch the Know the World videos before your
Yeah.
interviews. They'll definitely help. Definitely help. All right. Thanks a lot for this time, Tarun. I have another student to interview, so I'll continue with that. Thank you, and you may switch off your camera now. Bye bye. Bye.